Desi Lydic delivered just 6 words directly aimed at Donald Trump, and nearly 48 hours later, he still hadn't responded. But before we get to that moment, let's take a closer look at what Desi Lydic had to say.
Donald Trump has a long list of enemies. Iran, Democrats, the far-left radicals known as the Catholic Church. But there's only one opponent that Trump hates so much that when he goes after them, he actually becomes them.
You know, the windmills. Boom, boom, boom.
Windmills. Wind.
That's right. Whether it's a person from another country or an inanimate object, Trump will do the accent. You might be saying, wait, Desi, aren't those wind turbines? Yes, they used to be, but Trump calls them windmills, so they're windmills now. You know, like how this is now the Gulf of America, this is the Trump Kennedy Center, and these are healthy angles.
Mr. Trump made history last night. He will be the first convicted felon to be president of the United States.
Official, America's elected its first criminal president before electing its first female president. What a day for proud felonists. What the actual America? We have had 2 qualified, accomplished women nominated for president, and both times they lost to the worst man in the whole country. Trump is on track to win every single swing state and the popular vote. Just like the relationship between Trump and Eric, this one wasn't close at all. Oh my God. I have 4 more years of Eric jokes. Me. America voted this guy out in 2020. And what has he done since then? He tried to overthrow the government. He was convicted of 34 felonies. He spent an entire campaign promising vengeance against his enemies. And if you're wondering who, after all of that, would want to back him up, well, buckle up. It's a long list.
The former president winning with a coalition driven by white voters, men, and first-time voters.
Young men in union households.
Those older voters.
Voters age 45 to 64.
Those younger than the age of 30.
Black men, Latino men, suburban women, Arab Americans, and white men.
So, all of America. All of America. You just listed all of this. At it again, trying to make a big deal out of the leader of the free world, depicting himself as Jesus Christ after bad-mouthing the Pope. What's really going on here? Well, I've been watching Fox News for the last 316 hours, and I'm ready to Fox-splain the Pope's unholy crusade against President Trump.
I think the President of the United States likes to mix it up on social media. The President was posting a joke.
This was obviously a joke. Oh, here's one. Knock, knock. Who's there? Trump is Jesus. It's a joke, people. Trump posted himself as Christ when he's clearly not Christ. If anything, he's the Antichrist. Frankly, it's a double standard. Trump can't post a joke about being Jesus, but a priest and a rabbi can walk into a bar with a duck and nobody complains? As J.D. Vance explained, Trump posted himself as Jesus as a joke, but also Trump didn't even post himself as Jesus.
I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support.
Yes! When I first saw the post, I thought to myself, am I on Truth Social or WebMD? Because that man is clearly a doctor. Oh, come on. It's ridiculous. When Noah Wiley pretends to be a doctor, he wins an Emmy, but when Donald Trump pretends to be a doctor, it offends God.
I'm a Catholic as well, and I wasn't too offended by this. I think I'd seen that exact photo posted about 100 times already by my uncle.
All right, listen up. In real America, this isn't a big deal. Thousands of times per day, my uncle posts a meme of Trump as Jesus with a six-pack and a huge Joe Biden in the while Nancy Pelosi watches. And that's my smart uncle.
Well, when it comes to the disagreements with the Vatican, look, we're going to have disagreements, Brett, from time to time. I think that's a totally reasonable thing. It isn't particularly newsworthy.
It's not newsworthy. If I had to rank it, I'd go Trump thinks he's Jesus. Justin Trudeau drinks from plastic cup at Coachella after banning them in Canada.
He has a plastic cup.
Look, everyone just calm down, okay? Like, let's not make a big deal out of the president telling God's emissary on earth to shut the fuck up, okay? So look, nobody's out of line here, except the Pope, who's totally out of line.
I probably say the Pope needs to keep his business into leading his flock, so to speak, leading the church, and probably stay out of the political arena.
Yeah, shut your Pope hole, Pope. Yeah, Pope. I don't want to place all the blame on the Pope. That would be crazy. Let's just be reasonable adults and blame Barack Obama.
The beef started after Obama's right-hand man, David Axelrod, paid the Pope a little visit. They're two Chicago guys. We don't know what they talked about, but a week after he left, the Pope started taking shots at Trump.
That's right. Barack Hussein Obama's best friend, David Hussein Axelrod, got into the head of Pope Hussein Leo.
One good thing is that people are talking about Jesus, thinking about Jesus, and there's still a passion for Jesus. So good things can come out of a situation like this.
Yes, Trump's Jesus post got people talking about Jesus again. The Pope should be thanking Trump for his blasphemy. Look, no one is saying that Donald Trump is Jesus. I'm just saying that Trump is like Jesus in his deeds, words, and actions.
I think he's almost the second coming, in my humble opinion.
There is no president who has saved more human lives than Donald Trump. Look at the things he's done. His actions are, in fact, advancing the teachings of Jesus Christ.
Yes, praise be he, where he, in this instance, is Donald Trump.
Donald Trump reacts to comedians the way many people instinctively check their phones. Constantly, automatically, and often while focused on something else. He's labeled Stephen Colbert unwatchable, dismissed Jimmy Kimmel as untalented, declared Jon Stewart irrelevant, and repeatedly insisted that Saturday Night Live hasn't been funny for decades. Yet despite those claims, he continued posting about them week after week. The pattern rarely changed. Trump would launch an insult. The comedian would answer back, often with a monologue, a montage, or an extended comedy segment. Trump would then claim victory. His supporters would celebrate, the news cycle would move on, and before long he would be criticizing someone else. But in late May 2026, that familiar routine took an unexpected turn. Trump published a lengthy post on Truth Social shortly after midnight on May 28th. It consisted of 3 paragraphs directed at Desi Lydic, a host of The Daily Show, whom he had never publicly singled out before. He described her program as unwatched garbage, claimed nobody cared about it, accused her of attacking the president simply to remain relevant, and concluded by suggesting that hardly anyone even knew who she was. It followed a script that had worked for him countless times. He criticized someone publicly, they fired back, and the exchange generated another round of headlines. This time, however, things unfolded differently. The following evening on The Daily Show, Desi Lydic opened her segment by reading Trump's entire post aloud. She didn't exaggerate it for comic effect. She didn't interrupt with jokes or sarcastic remarks. She simply read every word in a calm, matter-of-fact voice, the kind of tone someone might use while reading assembly instructions. When she finished, she looked directly into the camera and said only 6 words. "Then how did you see me?" That was all. No eye roll. No montage of Trump's past attacks. No callback joke. No extended rebuttal. Just 6 carefully chosen words delivered in a matter of seconds before she moved on to the next story. For viewers accustomed to loud political arguments and lengthy counterattacks, the moment stood out precisely because it wasn't either of those things. She didn't argue with Trump. She asked a question, and it was a question with no easy answer. If, as Trump claimed, nobody watches Desi Lydic, then how did he know what she had said about him? If her show truly didn't matter, why was the sitting president writing 3 paragraphs about it after midnight? If she was supposedly insignificant, why had he gone out of his way to mention her by name? The brilliance of the question lay in its simplicity. Every possible explanation created another contradiction. If Trump admitted he had watched the show, it undermined his claim that nobody watched it. If he said aides had informed him about the segment, it suggested that people around him were paying attention to a program he insisted was irrelevant. If he claimed he hadn't actually seen it, then what justified writing such a detailed post in response? With 6 words, Desi Lydic turned the situation into a logical puzzle that offered Trump no satisfying way out. For the first time in years of publicly feuding with comedians, there was no immediate comeback. 48 hours passed. No Truth Social posts about Desi. No references during campaign appearances. No follow-up insults. Just silence. That silence became part of the story because it contrasted sharply with Trump's usual behavior. When he criticized Jimmy Kimmel in March 2025, Kimmel responded within an hour, and Trump followed with numerous additional posts over the next several days. After attacking Stephen Colbert in August 2025, Colbert devoted an entire segment to the exchange, and Trump continued mentioning him repeatedly at campaign rallies throughout the week. This time was different. Desi Lydic didn't produce a lengthy takedown. The Daily Show didn't build an entire episode around the feud. Ratings didn't suddenly explode. She simply asked one question, and the President of the United States, a man known for responding quickly to criticism, didn't answer it. That decision became more revealing than any response might have been. By remaining silent, Trump appeared to reinforce the very point her question highlighted. He had clearly noticed her. Whether by watching the show himself or hearing about it from others, he was aware enough to devote a lengthy post to someone he simultaneously dismissed as irrelevant. The contradiction spoke for itself. If you appreciate moments where a single question reveals more than a lengthy debate ever could, that's exactly what the world moment aims to spotlight. Sometimes the most effective response isn't another argument. It's the question that forces everyone else to connect the dots. Desi Lydic didn't overpower Trump by speaking louder. She allowed his own actions to become the punchline. Rather than accusing him of insecurity, she asked a question that invited the audience to reach that conclusion on their own. And Trump, a public figure known for insisting on having the final word, chose not to respond at all. The discussion remains open. For someone who often reacts within minutes to criticism, 48 hours represented an unusually long period of silence. Desi never rejected the insult directly. She never defended herself. She never argued. She simply pointed out the contradiction, let the audience notice it, and moved on. In that sense, the 6 words weren't an insult. They functioned as evidence. Evidence that Trump paid attention to critics he described as unimportant. Evidence that he focused on voices he publicly claimed nobody watched. Evidence suggesting the attacks often revealed as much about the attacker as they did about the target. 3 days later, on May 31st, Trump returned to posting, this time criticizing someone entirely different. Desi Lydic's name never surfaced again. The Daily Show didn't revisit the exchange. The story effectively ended because the original question had already accomplished its purpose. Whether intentional or not, the silence became its own response. Trump has made no additional public comments about Desi Lydic. The Daily Show continues its regular broadcasts. The 6-word clip has circulated widely across social media platforms, while the nearly 48-hour gap remains one of the longest periods during Trump's second term in which he did not publicly answer criticism from a comedian. As the World Moment puts it, we ask the question others overlook. That's the entire mission. The patterns keep repeating.